Nico Harrison. The Lakers lost tonight. They got blew out. Luka got his numbers. He had 9 turnovers. Austin Reeves was kind of shut down. He only had 16 points, but he was at 10 points for a long time before he started. It was already a blowout before he started, really getting in, getting some points up there. He ended with 16 though, but he was, they had this dude. This dude was averaging like 30-some points, dog. Right. So holding him to 16 was a good thing. They held LeBron to 10. He barely got double digits. Luka got his numbers, but turnovers galore. Y'all, Nico was right, dog. I mean, he got fired for it. He really didn't get fired for the trade. He got fired because the fans threatened to not support the Mavs anymore as long as Nico was there. So the owner had a decision to make. Do I want empty seats in my stadium every home game for this season just so I can keep Nico? Or do I want to go ahead and give them this sacrifice in hopes that they reconnect back with the Mavs now that Nico is gone? And so that's what they did. But Brandon Haywood was talking about it, and he said there's no way Nico could trade Luka without everyone being on board with it. And he said he called the game in Dallas, and after the game, he went to talk to a lot of people in the organization. And he said he never thought it was that bad to where nobody he talked to around the organization had anything good to say about Luka. Listen to what this man said.
Didn't move Luka without a lot of people in the Dallas organization either thinking that was a good move or they wanted him moved himself. The year before that, I went and I called a game in Dallas. I've never seen an organization have a generational player that disliked him that much. Everybody I talked to, they didn't speak highly of Luka. I talked to people from the support staff to the coaching staff, the front, like everybody around. It was just, yeah. I'll never forget. I was talking to somebody. I said, "Man, y'all might have the MVP this year." And the response was one that I never thought I would get. They said, "Gosh, I hope not." I said, "What?"
Wow.
They said, "We can't get him to listen to anything we say now. If he gets the MVP, no telling what he'll do." Whether it was the work ethic, whether it was showing up out of shape, whether it was how certain people were talked to, there were a lot of people in that organization that didn't agree with how he went about his day-to-day business. And so when Nico made that trade, there were a lot of people that actually liked it.
He said when Nico made that trade, there was a lot of people that actually like it, all the way up to the owners, I believe. And he said that, what they didn't like about him had to do with his conditioning, showing up out of shape, the way he talked to people, the way he didn't listen to authority, and all of that stuff. And every bit of that was on display in the playoffs last year. Not last year. The playoffs year before last when they went to the finals and lost to Boston. All of that was on display, right? Because when Boston put that pressure on him in the backcourt, it showed you how bad his conditioning was. It showed you how out of shape and overweight he was. And then when he wasn't getting his fouls called, all the whining and pouting and talking to refs and cussing refs out, and then losing the ball out of bounds and falling, and then telling J Kidd to challenge it, and J Kidd was like, get up, not challenge it. And he fussing the entire bench and J Kidd out during the finals because they wouldn't challenge the call, the out of bounds call of the ball that he just lost because he couldn't handle Jaylen Brown's pressure. He fussed out Jason Kidd in front of millions of people on the biggest stage of NBA and just made him look small, like insane. Before the finals started, when they won the Western Conference Finals, and he had a celebratory beer in his hand, and Michael Finley, who was the assistant GM, had to walk by and grab his beer, take it from him, and go the other way. For whatever reason why he took that beer, maybe they had some type of agreement that he wouldn't drink during the season because that's the reason why he was so overweight, and maybe drinking was a problem. Or maybe he just didn't want that image for his star player that is due for a Supermax next year. Like, how we go sell your image drinking this beer like this? Like, at least hide it. At least hide it, right? So he took it from him. And he rolled his eyes like, man, what is he doing? Like, I know that's not the first time somebody done said something to you about your drinking. You think that changes because we won the conference finals? Right? There's another sports caster that runs a podcast called PB Sports Talk. I think he's in Texas. And he talked about all the people that he talked to about Luka, and he gave a little insight to what the Mavs really was thinking.
Luka Doncic was due or about to be due a Supermax contract. 5 years, $345 million, folks. That's $350 million that you were about to be on the hook for because of his tenure and accomplishments as an NBA player. You had a one-dimensional Luka Doncic. You had an overweight Luka Doncic. You had, by all accounts, a heavily drinking, a heavily smoking Luka Doncic. You had a whiner in Luka Doncic. And so Nico Harrison in Dallas was forced with a decision. Do we want to commit to this man to be the leader of our franchise for the next 5 years, knowing that we have A, B, C, D, E, and F challenges going on? And can we take the performance of said individual? Will it outweigh all of this? I think everybody that was, maybe not the Dallas fans, but everybody from the outside, I think, including myself, got frustrated watching Luka Doncic play for the Dallas Mavericks in that he was constantly complaining. It was constantly an issue. It became constantly about him.
This is what people in Texas and Dallas have been saying for a while. I remember when JaVale McGee was on the squad and Theo Pinkston was on the squad. This is before Kyrie Irving showed up. Theo Pinkston, JaVale McGee, a couple of other dudes. Dallas Mavericks wasn't doing too hot. What was going on? They were several team meetings. This is McMahon, who reports for Dallas, giving this insight. And he's saying there's a team meeting that happened. And during that team meeting, several players, including JaVale McGee, a champion, Theo Pinkston, a good vet. I can't remember who the other, it was two other guys, and I can't remember their names. I did a show on it. But in that team meeting, they looked Luka in the face and said, we do not like playing with you. We do not like playing in the offense that you lead. We do not like playing with you, dog. We just don't. Nobody wanted to play in that system where Luka does everything and they just stand around. Rick Carlisle didn't want to coach it. He didn't want to coach a crybaby like Luka that was entitled and didn't listen to nobody. He left and said, I'd rather coach Tyrese Halliburton and build my own squad my way. He left the team that he won a championship with, a team he coached with for years, a team owner in Mark Cuban that he had a relationship with. He walked away. The offer for him to resign was right there. He said, no, thank you. Walked away. Walked away from a superstar that wasn't even 23 years old yet. Rick walked away, and he's happy for it, and his hair not gray. JJ Redick hair already gray dealing with LeBron and Luka. Hair gray as hell. Rick Carlisle over there looking good and young over there. Get rid of the headaches, dog. Get rid of the headaches. Don't just trust your instincts and your gut. Follow your gut, dog. If it's too much, hey, look, I gotta go, dog. This dude, he gonna mess around and have me in the hospital somewhere. Like Ty Lue was in the hospital dealing with LeBron. Man was in the daggone hospital dealing with a player, man. That is insane, dog. Insane. Kobe Bryant was wearing Phil Jackson out the first time, too. That Phil Jackson needed a break. then wrote a book about Kobe. telling the world all this selfish stuff about Kobe. And then him and Kobe had to repair their relationship before he got the job back and came back when Gasol was there. And then after that, Kobe was way more mature. He went from number 8 to number 24, and the rest is history. But something's got to be done. Phil had to leave. And people with the Dallas organization was trying to sound the alarm. Rick Carlisle walks away. Porzingis frustrated as hell playing with Luka in that system. He wanted to be traded. Get me out of here. He went to the Wizards to get away from Luka. That's basketball Siberia. Shout out to Jokic. That's basketball Budapest or Djibouti, Africa, or something. I mean, it's something. It's somewhere you ain't trying to be. Right? He said, I go here to get away from Luka. Jalen Brunson was like, I'm going to New York, dog. This jump for the birds, man. Ain't no way I'm about to say, sit over here in the corner and watch Luka dribble the air out of the ball and then throw me a grenade with 5 seconds on the shot clock so he can get an assist. Absolutely not. And he fattened out of shape, and that's our team leader. Brandon Haywood said that these dudes said, we hope he don't win MVP. First and foremost, him getting to the finals, how long he was with the Mavs and making first team and all that stuff, that made his supermax real crazy. If he would have got MVP, I think his supermax would have been even more. 375 mil is a lot, though. It's a lot to give a player that don't listen, who fuss everybody out, who think his head coach ain't got no say so, and he can tell his head coach what to do, who can fuss at the referees like they kids. And oh, by the way, I'm not playing no defense, and I'm fat and out of shape, and I smoke and drink and party. I'm doing all of that, and I want 375 million. And the DuPonts and Nico Harrison said, not on my watch. Not on my watch, you fat pig. Take that jump to LA. And that is the only reason why he got in shape, because he was so embarrassed by getting traded. That's the only thing that woke him up. A Hall of Fame coach and Rick Carlisle walking away from you wasn't enough. Porzingis asking to leave you wasn't enough. JaVale McGee as a champion telling you we don't like playing with you wasn't enough. Everybody who had a problem with you, Dallas just got rid of or let go. Jalen Brunson walking away wasn't enough. Everybody who had a problem with the Luka Doncic offensive system, they voiced their opinion, they voiced their disgust, and then eventually they got shipped out or benched. So Dallas and Mark Cuban and whoever else was choosing Luka over everybody who kept sounding the alarm. And that wasn't enough. He didn't wake up and really think that he needed to change until they traded him to LA and said, we can't take it no more. You got to go to LA, dog, or somewhere. We got to get you up out of here. And that embarrassed him so much. You can tell it hurt him. It embarrassed and hurt him so much. That is the only thing that really motivated him this summer to get in the gym and sell some of that baby fat. Sell some of that Kamora Lee Simmons baby fat. It took all of that for you to say, I don't want to be fat. It took all of that. Then that means somebody got to trade him every season and embarrass him. Because what's going to be his motivation next year? He got his money now. Dallas gave him an extension. And not Dallas, but the Lakers gave him an extension, so he got his money. What's going to happen after this year? We'll see. We'll see. They already the offense JJ Redick was trying to run. He already abandoned it and went to Luka ball. They don't even use LeBron like that. It's just Luka ball always, the second star always can get his numbers too. When Brunson was there, hey man, you can get your numbers. You got to go get them though. We're not running the offense for you. The offense is for Luka Vandross. The offense is for me. Screen and roll, high screen and roll. I'm gonna keep the ball until I can either score or get an assist. But for my second best player, preferably I want it to be a guard. Because I want to be able to say, well, I couldn't get no shot off right here. Let me give it to this guard that's so good on offense. All he needs is 5 to 6 seconds. I can throw it to him at the end of the shot clock and he can go get a shot. That was Kyrie for him. That was Jalen Brunson for him. Right. And now that's Austin Reeves. So the offense that he run always has room for a second start, especially if it's a guard. Which is the same thing LeBron was doing with Kyrie and Wade. Right. But so that's what you're seeing with Reeves right now. They're fully engaged in playing the Luka Doncic system that Dallas was doing, and now it's over there in LA. Get me a big man that can catch lobs, and Ayton getting his lobs. It's the same exact thing. They built the squad similar to how they had it in Dallas when he went to the finals. This is what you're seeing. But at best, when they face a good team in the finals or the playoffs that's going to lock them up defensively, you already know what the results is going to be. Fat man down. Luka Vandross pouting all over the floor, foul trouble, just getting absolutely destroyed. Do you remember that? Y'all see that meme with the little white girl on the couch and all them BBCs behind her with no shirt on? That's how it be when Luka get in the playoffs. It always be a whole bunch of good defenders on that casting couch behind him while he's sitting on the couch smiling, ready to be BBC. That's what's gonna happen in the playoffs. Somebody go BBC that man. They call him Superhead. But that's my 2 cents though.